Well, hey, everybody, thanks for joining us for this conversation. We have been in a series in the book of Daniel talking about honesty, and this last Sunday, I thought it would be cool to invite Pastor Marcy, who's also my wife, and she is joining us for this conversation, taking it a step further to talk about some ways that we can grow in honesty. But first, Marcy, why don't you just share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, my name is Marcy. I am your wife. I've got 4 awesome daughters. I am on maternity leave, and I came back to do this. And I'm the Central Kids Pastor, so I oversee all of kids ministry across our 3 campuses.
Yeah, and you come up a lot in my stories, so this is her, and but no, it's so cool. Like we talk on Sunday, it's a very different format than a conversation, and now that we're getting practical, because honesty is something that is like a muscle, right? It's not like, oh, you're born honest or you're not honest. Right. It's something that can be developed, and some of us even grew up in homes where honesty wasn't a value that was really encouraged or cultivated. And as a parent, that actually really does matter. Like the other day, I had this moment because it's on my mind. I was studying about this, and I was putting the girls to bed, and our middle child, Juliana, says, Mia has stuff under her pillow. And I'm like, oh, really? What's under her pillow? And, Mia looks at me and goes, I could tell she wasn't sure if she should be honest. And she's like, my princess dress, my princess shoes, my necklace, shows me all this stuff. And in that moment, do I want her to have all that stuff in her bed with her? No.
Yeah, for context, we don't allow them to sleep with anything.
Yeah, they don't usually go to bed with toys.
Yeah. The room is for sleeping.
But I just realized if I shut this down, then that's just going to teach her next time, say, oh, no, nothing, right? And lie to me. And so I let them play for an extra 10 minutes, maybe. Probably too long. But it was hey, I gotta celebrate the fact that she's being honest right now if I want to encourage that. So we have a part to play cultivating honesty in our homes, but also it's a muscle that we all need to grow. And so we're going to talk about primarily three ways that you can put this into practice, that you can develop this muscle of honesty. And the first one is to invite and accept honesty from others. Right. Invite and accept honesty from others. This means that you have to care about what people really think. So let's just start with the idea of inviting it from others. Why do we need to do that? How do we do that?
Well, I think in order for us to be honest people, we first have to be able to receive honesty, right? It's a muscle, and so we're growing. And so, the fact that we need to start with ourselves. Yeah. So if we can be the type of people that are comfortable with hearing kind of hard truths about ourselves or a situation or whatever it may be, it's really important because it kind of brings things to light. It, shows our blind spots. And, something we always say around here at Brave in the office is we value feedback, right? Feedback is our friend. Yep. And so you could take that professionally, but you could also take that outside of work into your relationships, whether it's, with your spouse or your girlfriends or, whatever, is we want feedback and to really be able to hear what those people are saying, right? And I think it's important that whoever we're inviting, right, to receive the truth from, we are smart about it. Make sure it's people that are, in your circle or that their words carry weight. You don't just want to ask anybody, people that don't know you.
and maybe it's uncomfortable, right? But if you want to grow, and that's really huge because I think sometimes most of us, we just wait for someone to finally give their feedback or to finally say it versus being proactive. But there's something really powerful about taking that initiative and even knowing that, man, if you want people to I remember a season when I was younger where because I was the kind of person that was always speaking my mind or always saying this or that or always reacting to stuff, right? I was always the last one to find out about things. And that's a bummer, right? And then you're like, wow, why doesn't anybody tell me anything?
Well, I'm just going to stop you right there really quickly because it makes me think of, right, opinion is different than truth. Yeah. And so, yes, speak the truth. And I think one of your first points in your message on Sunday was speak your truth. It was part of the 3 things. But yes, speak your truth, but remember that opinion is different than truth.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, we're saying there's a lot of opinionated people and great. I'm one of those people, but having to realize the distinction between
an opinion speaks to your experience or your preference. It doesn't necessarily speak to what's true.
Right.
objectively
So
for everybody.
So when you're hearing someone's truth that they're telling you, I always say, weigh it, right? Take it to God. And I always ask like, okay, Lord, is what they're saying, is that truth? Take it to other people that you trust. And then there's that second part of it, which is accept it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because if you develop a pattern in a relationship of like being resistant when people give that feedback or are honest with you, then you're kind of like saying, hey, I want you to be honest with me, but I really can't handle it.
Yeah, but not really.
And then what are you going to get? You're not going to get, more.
They're not going to want to be honest with you. Yeah, absolutely. It kind of reminds me of we were having dinner last night.
Oh.
Okay, so we had a lunch date yesterday.
Yes.
And then we had dinner, obviously, together as a family. And I was on my phone and I was eating. And then you said, hey, babe, you kind of are on your phone a lot. And I got annoyed. And you said...
There's not really a great way to say that, by the way.
No, you said it really nicely, actually. No, you did. You said it really, really nicely. I mean, you weren't, mean about it or you weren't snarky about it. You just said, hey, at lunch, when we were on our date, you were on your phone.
Yeah.
And then now you're on your phone and, and then you said, it makes me feel like you're checked out. That's a hard truth. That's a hard pill for me to swallow. Right. And even though I wanted to be reactionary and I wanted to, give you all the reasons why I was on my phone because I was doing something important, I could have gotten defensive.
Yeah.
And I'm, you learn this in your relationships over time, right? I'm getting to the point where now I don't react, I respond, right? That's the difference. You can be reactionary or you're defensive and you give your excuses or reasons or whatever, or you could pause and respond. And so I didn't say anything to you. I just was like, no,
until now, I didn't know that went so well.
I know. No, I just said, oh, okay. I mean, I was annoyed, but I put my phone away and it was hard. And later I had to sit with it and I'm like, I want to be present for our kids. I want to be present for you, especially, seeing you at lunch on our lunch date like that. The time that we get together is precious.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was hard for me to swallow, but I sat in it and I didn't say anything. And I think a good rule of thumb for anybody, if this is a area where you want to grow in, right? We're all a little immature at first. And so if we want to mature in this area, just don't say anything. Don't react. Just say, oh, okay, I hear you.
Yeah, because you can always circle back later.
Totally.
Too. Okay, well, that's really good. So the second thing, let's keep it going, is to share truth to heal, not harm. Share truth to heal, not harm. Let's unpack this. This is super important because we might not think of truth as being something that you could harm people with, but truth, it can be weaponized in relationships.
Right.
What do you think of when you think of harmful truth?
It's like, I think you mentioned this or you've said it before, but like, it's like when people use it as a weapon, like you said, but like you're in an argument and you just kind of drop a truth bomb, but it's not for a solution. It's literally to be mean. It's just to be mean.
Or to be right or to get what you want.
Resolve you're saying something without a path to move forward. Yeah. What's the point of sharing that if you're not trying to grow or heal, right?
Yeah.
In your relationship. And I think that when you're honest with someone, the whole point of being honest is to move forward.
Yeah.
Is so you can, right, remove that barrier.
I'm sure some people can think of like experiences with their family where it's like there was like, why is it that the truth gets dropped in a big heated argument that escalated to something? That's like a sign that it's being withheld, not being like gotten to a point where, you know what, okay, I want to bring some health, some healing. I'm going to share this in like a tender, vulnerable moment. It's like, no, I'm so mad at you. So now I'm just going to say what I'm really thinking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like even in a movie, right, where there's like a drama and then like it's usually like the end of an episode and then there's this big like bomb that gets dropped. So that kind of truth is often counterproductive. It can do more harm.
It's not helpful.
But a key distinction is that hurtful truth isn't necessarily harmful. Sometimes the truth does hurt.
Right.
Sometimes it's not easy to hear, but is loving and important. And so we can't be so like to the point where we're like, if this hurts my feelings, then they're just mean.
Yeah. Truth can hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Right. But I think, one of the things on my laptop, I have like a little icon and it's an acrostic and it's the word is think and it's T is for, is it true? And essentially this is for think before you speak, right? So T is it true? H is it helpful? I is it inspiring? N is for is it necessary? And K is for is it kind? That is such a good kind of like marker when it could work in, anything, but it's a good marker for when you are going to speak the truth to somebody, right? Is it true? Okay, it is. I'm going to go ahead and say this. But is it helpful? Again, is it helpful, not harmful? So if it's harmful, don't say it. And if you're not saying it in a kind way, like think about what is the motive behind why you're going to say what you're going to say, right?
Yeah.
And is it necessary? Is it necessary for your relationship to grow, to move forward, to help this person with either whether it be a character flaw or a situation or work or whatever it is it beneficial to both them and your relationship? And if it's not, it's probably an opinion and you shouldn't say it.
Yeah, probably not worth
right.
saying. You don't have to say everything.
Exactly.
Yeah. So lastly, this leads really well into our last exercise for truth is 3, share truth through a positive lens. This one's my favorite because when you do need to offer some feedback, I think it's so important like that it can be phrased in a positive, even if it's hard. And that's a good motive check. If you can't say it with your heart for them or the outcome that you want for them or the positive thing you want, if you can't say it through a positive lens, then maybe you don't have the wrong motive, or maybe your heart's just not in the right place to have that conversation. But I think people can tell when you really care.
Yeah.
And they'll respect it, even if it's not what they want to hear. But we sell ourselves short when we share the truth without connecting the dots to the why and to the potential outcome that could happen because you shared it or because what you want to see for them. So I think that's really, really good. Also, I'll just go a little longer on this one. So I don't know. Like, I just think we think positive thoughts about people a lot that we probably don't share.
Yeah.
And I think that a huge part of this is like saying those positive things more often because it gives you the credibility necessary when you're going to have a tough conversation that is for someone's benefit.
Yeah, they know your heart.
If you never say the positive things and you just come in with the feedback all the time, they're going to feel suspicious of where you're coming from. Like I remember when I was younger, like one of my mentors taught me this compliment sandwich thing, and I hate that. I think it's so weird because to me it just feels so like I see this coming a mile away. Now every time this person's gonna like start off saying something positive, then they're gonna say something that I don't want to hear, and then they're gonna like pat me on the back on the way out. And I know like it works. There's a reason people do that, and if I ever do that on accident, it was an accident. But like, I just think it's so much better, like affirm something, you can say something positive, but then just like get to the point and like share your heart, but do it with a positive lens. To me, that's like the ultimate like sandwich because you're thinking of the end in mind.
Yeah. They're thinking of that person.
When you're going to give tough feedback to someone or share an honest truth, how do you get ready for that?
Again, I know it's so silly, but that honestly, that's why I have it on my laptop. That thing, that acrostic is like, I don't just say what comes into my mind. We all can do that. It's a muscle. It takes restraint, self-control to sit in it and really think, okay, what I'm going to say, is it going to be beneficial for them to move forward, to grow, for my relationship to grow with them? And I am prayerful about it. I just recently have to have a lot of hard conversations, and it's so important to me for those people to hear my heart and know why I'm saying the things that I'm saying. And when it's something super heavy, I could just encourage everybody, be prayerful. I mean, prayer is powerful, and ask the Lord to give you the words that you need for that person to be open to receive what you're saying. And I also have to remind myself, because I am very empathetic. I'm a very empathetic person. Like I may not know you, but if you're crying, I'm crying with you, literally. So I've grown over the years, but I used to sugarcoat things, or like I would shy away from the truth. I've learned not to do that. I've learned to, when I prepare myself to get ready to say a hard truth, I just remind myself, what I'm going to say is all in love. Yeah. And Lord, give me the words that I need in order to convey that. And I hope that, that I'm guided by the Holy Spirit and that they can feel God's love through what I'm saying. It's like, in Ephesians 4:15, speak truth in love, right? And so sometimes we either go all truth and no love, or all love and no truth, right? Where we're like dancing around it. And so we have to find a middle, right? We have to have both as followers of Jesus. And even if you aren't a follower of Jesus, it's so good to look through that lens of, what we're saying.
I'll be honest with you, we're out of time.
Oh, sorry.
No, there's some construction going on outside, and
I'm long-winded.
I think they're about to start spraying this window with a pressure washer. The church in Dublin's being painted, so surprise announcement. There's some extra truth, some bonus truth. So in summary, invite and accept honesty from others.
This is real, guys.
Share truth to heal, not harm. Share truth through a positive lens. And what's next? I always like to end with something coming up. Hey, so this weekend, Father's Day, be there doing this with my dad. Yeah. We're having a conversation.
That's awesome.
So that's going to be fun. Hey, I hope you guys have found this helpful, and talk soon.
Thanks for having me.